I better just take a peek. Or at least I'd take a peek if it were possible to open it. Okay, where's the screwdriver? Knife. There's the screwdriver. So, if I just turn this... aha! Oh, you're kidding me! Seems to be a strap for holding something on the shelf above the trunk. Unfortunately, I can't reach the clasp. Oh, brilliant! Hopefully the clasp won't slip out of the box when I pull the strap. The pipe rolled up against the shelf, but it's... How's that supposed to work? The strap won't tie itself around the pipe. Looks like I hit the jackpot on my first try. And then it'll just tie itself around the pipe. A robust strap with a metal clasp. 2 metal pipes, stable, about 10 meters apart. Ugh, I can't reach it. The ship may be showing its age, but those... Looks like I hit the jack... Oh! All right then. I'll just drive the blade through the end of the strap. Even if the knife were... The knife isn't stuck firm. I'll pull it out. Oh! It's worth a try. Ta-da! That should hold. My best chance. Steady as a rock. Elegant. Oh, great. Okay, I'll tie him up and then get out of here before they start looking for him. And I already have an idea where I can hide.
I can't imagine that he'd just leave.
Yeah, and without saying goodbye either.
No need to be frightened, young lady.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you.
This is hardly the time or the place. What happened on the train?
Nothing bad. Everyone is fine.
Inch is dangerous. I warned you.
I know. That's why we're being careful. And you have a smart and handsome young thief at your side.
And humble, too.
Don't worry. I'll take care of you.
What have I done to deserve luck like this? Inch bothers me. He's shown what he's capable of. What if he finds out about our plan?
How would he? We're careful.
He's more ruthless than we expected. The bomb on the train. I don't want to think about it.
We need to make sure that we stay calm.
You mean that I stay calm?
I'm not worried about you. I know you.
I saw you and Inch in Venice. What was it about?
He was angry because his attack on the train failed and because I lost my ticket.
How did you get on the ship?
As a stowaway, locked in a cold, dark cargo hold.
Poor boy. Shall we go over the plan one more time?
Good idea. We know that Inch hid the first eye in the Baroness's luggage.
I'll break into her cabin and replace the eye with a fake.
Right. We'll steal the second eye in Cairo.
And Inch will be caught in the act.
It's simple.
The devil is in the detail. I have to get into the Baroness's cabin undetected, then find the secret hiding place, and I can't leave any evidence behind.
Yes. And Inch said something about a combination, so the hiding place might be locked.
One step at a time. I think I'll assess the situation first.
And I think I'll make myself comfortable for a little while.
So this is how married life will be.
Works for me.
Everything went according to plan in London?
Except for the explosion, yes. The Bobby was right on time.
Because he had a good tip-off.
I had enough time to take the eye, but unfortunately there was no time to replace it with the fake.
Where is it? A work of art. Almost as beautiful as the original.
I can't tell the difference.
Inch could. But if all goes to plan, he won't have a chance to take a closer look at the jewel until after the burglary at the Egyptian Museum. Will Legrand cause any trouble?
Everything's still going according to plan. That means he's clever, but not clever enough.
And the Bobby?
Peasant's cunning, nothing more. He won't be able to solve the puzzle on his own.
There's still Inch.
He doesn't suspect anything. We laid the foundation well. I've been his assistant for months already. He doesn't trust me, but he thinks he can play me for a sucker. That's enough.
I'll go out now and lead the police and master thieves around by the nose.
I can think of something else to do.
I can't.
I'm sure I could help you if... Stand aside. If you told me what you're looking for. You're just getting in my way. Now get out. I'll wait at the door, madam. Yes, yes. Oh, Miss...
Mayers?
Can I help you?
No, I'm just having a look around the ship. Good day. was close. Lovely big towel. I hope tomorrow I'll have a chance to sunbathe and enjoy the rest of the trip. A deck chair in the sunshine on a cruise ship. I'd be a fool to miss out on that tomorrow, but I have to take care of my duties before I can relax in the sun.
Bravo! Bravissimo! Fantastico! Ha ha!
Would it be okay for you if I get some fresh air up on deck?
Of course, my dear. Give my regards to the sea.
I'm not an expert, but I think that Mr. Kreutzer really is a very skilled violinist. At least, I liked it, and the captain was certainly smitten. Excuse me, gentlemen.
She can't have meant you, Mr. Kreutzer.
Why don't you just let me have a conversation with the young lady?
I just wanted...
Did you count the rings on your fingers, my dear?
I think I'm going to stretch my legs.
But, Mr. Kreutzer, please stay. You simply must tell me more about your wonderful violin.
If you insist.
A wonderful concert, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have expected you to be a connoisseur of classical music.
Because I'm American?
Because you're young, and friendly, and radiant. Someone like you doesn't have to know a lot to get along well in life.
Is this your first trip on the Lydia?
That's quite enough. Life is too short for conversations like this. I do wish that rather delightful Swiss policeman had come along.
I heard you had an interesting trip on the train.
It was thrilling. I'm hoping for an encore. Perhaps in Cairo.
Are you easily prejudiced at your age?
In my long experience, there's often a core of truth at the center of every prejudice.
Prejudice is the reason of fools.
Was that written in the book you once read?
Oh, I've read many books. Good books.
But not my books, you mean to say?
You're a writer?
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you, Miss...
Mayers. You know, I'm not planning on throwing myself at a man.
I'm glad to hear it. You have to work. Earn your own money.
Oh, I will. My grades are excellent, and I really want to study acting in New York.
None of my books has ever been made into a good film. The stories were twisted, shortened, and simplified so that even the dimmest fellow could follow them.
I want to do theater and travel. I speak 3 languages.
That would be 3 more than most people your age can speak. Do what you have to do. But stay away from bad men.
Mr. Kreutzer possesses impressive technique, don't you think?
He certainly does. His numerous playmates in Austria can tell you more about it than I.
You mean Mr. Kreutzer is a womanizer?
I'm not talking about cheap skirts. I'm talking about expensive clothes. A man like him needs funds to support his lifestyle. Just go over to him, my dear. Tell the maestro that your family is wealthy. You have everything he's looking for. Money and a pretty face.
Hold your tongue.
Mr. Kreutzer, Lady Westmacott, please.
Or did you have your eye on me, Mr. Kreutzer? Old, yes, but rich.
Jezebel.
Mr. Kreutzer, Maestro.
That's better. Freeloader.
You and Mr. Kreutzer, you seem to know each other.
Not really, but I know his type. Parasites who cling to the rich and famous and suck them dry. The young, misunderstood painter. The innovative writer who writes books that no one wants to read. The musical talent that has to be supported. The ladies and gentlemen of high society let the others use them and call themselves patrons. Another word for fool.
Didn't you finance archaeological excavations in the Near East and Egypt?
For my husband, and I was there myself. I catalogued items for him, and I didn't show him off like a trophy at cocktail parties, but my son was one of them, the worst kind. The kind that sucks not only the money, but also the life right out of a person.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Wooden salad tongs, just small enough to carry around unseen. He's sweating profusely, burst capillaries and a sweet odor. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. He's sweating. I hope the... A handsome man and a talented musician, but he doesn't seem very happy. Hello, Mr. Kreutzer.
Do you want to have a go at me, like the old witch in there?
I just wanted to talk to you.
Now is not the best time.
I just wanted to tell you that I really loved your music, and that Lady Westmacott did not have the right to speak to you like that.
Really? How do you know? You don't know me.
Then, did she have the right?
No, she didn't. That cynical old witch enjoys exposing the weaknesses of others, although we all have them. She as well. She lusts for recognition and acts as though it weren't so disgraceful. She rejects prizes and awards with snide remarks, but she's angry when others receive them. She needs to know that she's better than others.
You seem to know her quite well.
I've only met her once or twice, but I know her son and some of her friends. One friend of hers supported me for a long time. No one is brave enough to say it to her face, but everyone hates her.
Her or her success? You're so talented. Why aren't you performing on the world's great stages?
Fate, perhaps. Or bad luck. My parents opened every door for me and my sister and expected corresponding careers.
Over-ambitious parents who force their children to play music?
No, it wasn't like that. I loved it. I loved to play the violin. They didn't have to force me. I wanted to do it on my own. I thought I would achieve my goals if only I worked hard enough. But it was not to be.
What happened?
In a more dramatic story, I'd say that I broke my hand just before my big break, or that I was rejected because of my nationality or my name, or that I was brought down by a conspiracy. But nothing like that ever happened. I practiced like mad. I got better and better. Really good. But nothing happened. The right people never heard me. I was never in the right place at the right time. Can you imagine how it feels to always be on the cusp of a breakthrough? To be just one evening away from becoming an overnight sensation? To see how other, less talented violinists pass you by because you just aren't lucky enough?
How terrible.
For every star in the limelight, there are a dozen more that burn out unseen, fading month by month. I didn't want to be one of those people who waste their lives chasing dreams without realizing that they're unattainable. If I couldn't have the life that I always dreamt of, and that my family expected from me, then at least I could have the next best life.
The next best life?
Mansions, limousines, parties, everything you could wish for. Though none of it belongs to me.
The lady called you a freeloader.
An ugly word, but maybe not so far from the truth. I move with the rich and famous, and at first glance, I live exactly the life my father always wished for me. A carefree life, easygoing. And I play the violin, which I always loved to do.
But it's not really like that.
It's empty. My life is just a shell. A show, and everyone knows it. I loved something once, and I burned for it. But now, the violin is just an accessory for practicing my real profession.
And your family?
How could I ever look them in the eyes? A failed violinist who gave up.
What does the future hold for you?
Isn't it obvious? My hands are starting to shake from alcohol. What will be left once I lose my good looks? I'll have nothing then. And so I'll put an end to it all.
You can't say things like that.
With my father's pistol, I always have it with me. It's gone. Fate won't even grant me a quick death.
Don't you think you can still make it?
No. It's too late now. The real question is, did I give up too quickly back then?
I don't know.
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye, Mr. Kreutzer. Practicality was definitely placed ahead of design here. I guess the Lydia regularly docks at harbours that don't have their own gangways. And rather than make the passengers climb ladders, they opted for the less beautiful alternative. Two handsome sailors are standing at the table and studying a marine map. Good thing they're busy. I can have a look around without being disturbed. A classic. The thief enters through the ventilation shaft. Can it really be that easy? No, it can't. The cover is screwed shut. No idea what kind of flag this is, but the pole it's attached to could be very useful one day. It's about 80 centimeters long and looks quite stable. Yes, it's sturdy, but it's also too cumbersome to carry around. I could tie the bath towel around the pole, put the pole across the ventilation shaft, and climb down with the help of the towel. Sounds like a plan. This should be the entrance to the cargo hold. Not really my concern. Bull, curling, shuffleboard, all the same to me. I'm not interested in any of that now. The two of them seem to be in a private conversation. I'd better not disturb them. When Adil and I were following the professor in London, I was disguised. But that doesn't mean he won't recognize me now. No, I won't talk to them as long as I can avoid it. The poster proudly announces the ship's first Atlantic crossing. The city of New York welcomes the MS Lydia. Inch is intelligent and ruthless, a dangerous combination. He's not a brilliant planner, but he is smart and careful. He senses danger. I'm afraid he might suspect that something is wrong. Very fine handiwork. The model maker even wrote the name of the ship on the tiny life preservers. But the winter garden at the back of the saloon is missing, and the stern deck looks different. It was obviously made before the ship was remodeled. Several journals and magazines. Ah, this looks pretty interesting. Art and Culture Today. Ah, there's something about the exhibition. Unique masterpieces exhibited for the first time together in their home country. Tireless efforts of Baroness von Trebitz.
Come in. How can I help you, young lady?
Are you the ship's doctor?
Yes, of course.
You see, that's what I thought, because you've got a uniform and you work in the medical center.
Well spotted, young lady. My name is Dr. Gebhardt. How can I help you?
What are the other passengers like?
Listen, young lady, I do not really have time to chat right now. Today is my first day, and it is going differently than I had expected.
You do seem a little stressed. Maybe you should relax. Stress isn't good for you.
You're right. If there is nothing else I can help you with.
But you weren't really helpful at all. Maybe I'll come back later. Bye now. The only regular event seems to be the nightly drink in the saloon. Judging from the rest of the entertainment program, it seems necessary. We briefly discussed whether we should try to steal the second eye here on the ship. The lack of escape routes and the 10-centimeter thick door to the safe settled the question. He has the enviable talent of being able to sleep anywhere, anytime. He once fell asleep on a cable car and only woke up after he'd already gone up the mountain and back down again. We booked this cabin because it's centrally located, easy to duck in whenever we need to. Of course, the fact that it's a first-class cabin with a huge bathroom and shower had nothing to do with it. As soon as I've... Okay then. I am Patricia Mayers. Young, attractive, clueless. I am Patricia Mayers. Normally I don't carry so many things around, but it would have been suspicious if I'd come aboard with nothing but a rucksack whilst pretending to be the daughter of a wealthy family. I got this necklace from my father. It's supposed to remind me that money isn't the most important thing in life. If all you've got is this penny, as well as family and friends, then you're a very rich girl, he said. I'll take it with me. It'll bring me luck. I don't like wearing hats, but they do fit the role. And I have to admit that the day in London when we shopped for Patricia Mayers was a lot of fun. I always try to carry as few personal items as possible. If my things are ever searched, they won't reveal my true identity. It happened pretty fast between us. It was magic when we first met. Birds of a feather flock together, and he can be very charming. The penny might be the right size. The penny fits perfectly into the screw slot, but my... That's it. I can jam the penny in and make an improvise. Right. That's it. I just hope that this is the right shaft. Here goes nothing.
Ah, Jakob Aust. I've finally got you. I'll have them arrest you and justice will be done.
Can I be of assistance, madam?
Yes, you can get out of the way.
Shall I tidy up, madam?
No, it's time to celebrate.
Excellent. The coast is clear. Impressive for a quick drink on the go. More bottles. Might be the good stuff. Napkins and towels, but no jewel. No, the Baroness and Inch aren't working together. He wouldn't hide the jewel in her handbag. Far too many hiding places for a jewel. But Inch said something about a combination. That sounds like a little safe or a hidden compartment. And she wouldn't have something like that in her suitcase. No. Inch said he hid the eye in the Baroness's luggage, which makes sense. He can't be certain that he'll have the chance to hide it again when we arrive in Cairo. Not even Adil would believe that this painting was an original. He was interested in art when we first met, but for him it was always about the content, not the technique. I had my work cut out teaching him to concentrate on the stroke, the material, and the signature of the artist. It's the only way to distinguish an original from a fake. I don't care who painted it as long as it speaks to me, he said. A perspective that, as an art thief, I can't share, but it's charming nonetheless. The mannequin could probably wear my clothes. It'd disappear under the Baroness's clothes, though. As a child, I often stood in front of shop windows and tried to stand as still as the mannequins. When I got bored, I claimed that one of the mannequins had blinked and declared myself the winner. It seems like she was searching for a specific photo, and that she actually found it. Jakob Aust. Now I've got you, she said. We got our hands on the list of passengers, but I don't recognize the name. Hundreds of black and white photos, many of them tinted. From the 20s and 30s, I guess. I don't have time to deal with them. The Baroness wrote something down and took the slip of paper with her. It's probably not important. Gin, whiskey, liqueur, sherry, vodka, brandy, and champagne. Every bottle is at least half empty. I wonder what the Baroness is running away from. Loneliness? Disappointment? Grief? Corkscrew? Bottle opener? Coaster? Nothing else. What's that? A small leather strap. Aha! I'd put money on the Eye of the Sphinx being behind this door. I don't think anyone would bet against me. Nefertiti, Guernica, A.D., Buonarroti's Adam. This could be a memory aid for the Baroness, and it would explain how Inch discovered the combination. I'm going to copy the hints. As I see it, I have to decipher these clues to find 3 of the symbols. Then I can guess the 4th. Well, Nefertiti was an Egyptian queen. The monogram and the 2 other clues aren't much help. To me, it looks like a combination. The door only opens when the right symbol... There are outlines of animals. A dog, a cat, a bear, and a rooster, amongst others. 8 symbols per cylinder. That means more than 4,000 possible combinations. I've copied the hint. Maybe someone on board can help me to figure out at least 3 of the 4 symbols. A suitable glass for every occasion. But most of them look more or less unused. The Baroness probably disregards style and etiquette when she's drinking alone, and just uses the same glass. I'd prefer to lock the door. Someone could come in and catch me at any moment. But it's important not to leave a trace. Inch absolutely cannot find out about us. I must hurry. That was close. Maybe it was a steward who checked whether everything was ready for the Baroness's nightly rest. Whoever it was, I should leave as fast as possible before someone comes back. What on earth is going on here? I don't like that. Is someone else after the eye as well? But even if that is the case, what does the audio tape have to do with it? I can't let it get to me. I have a job to do. It seems like Dr. Gebhardt was able to wrestle himself away from his work, but he still doesn't seem to be very relaxed. Quite the opposite. And why won't he go to the saloon? Dr. Gebhardt! Getting some fresh air?
Oh, you could say that.
Do you know the Egyptian queen Nefertiti?
Yes. There is a famous bust of her.
Really? Tell me more.
No, I am sorry. I do not have time for that.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Now listen, young lady, I do not know what they told you, but just because I am German, I am not responsible for the crimes of my government.
Crimes? What are you talking about?
We obeyed orders, just like everybody else. Now leave me alone.
Do you know what the monogram AD stands for?
What?
A capital A with a small d below it.
Yes, I do. Will you leave me alone if I tell you what it means?
You know.
It is not just any monogram. It is the first. Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, signed all his works with it. He was the first artist to sign all of his work with a monogram. It was not common to do so before then.
Are you sure?
His wooden engravings were, and still are, printed billions of times in Germany.
Billions of times? You're exaggerating.
Not at all. His work appears on German marks.
And what?
That's enough. I told you what you wanted to know. Please, leave me alone now.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
Buonarroti.
No idea. Don't know him.
But...
Try your luck somewhere else and leave me alone, please. Thank you.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
I hear you're well-versed in Egyptian history, Lady Westmacott. Can you tell me anything about Nefertiti?
A queen. The main wife of Akhenaten.
Did she have a favorite animal?
What a strange question.
I, just heard that they really adore cats in ancient Egypt.
Well, that's true, but I don't know whether Nefertiti had any special affinity for animals.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Why are you asking me all these strange questions?
I'm curious. How shall I learn if I don't ask?
Pick up a book.
Are you interested in art?
Not really. I'm more interested in real life, in people.
So, you don't know Albrecht Dürer?
Just because I'm not interested in art doesn't mean that I'm ignorant.
What can you tell me about him?
Books, my dear, books. In them, you'll find the answers to all your questions, even the most foolish ones.
I bet you don't know anything about him, and you just want to cover it up.
Ah, you want to appeal to my honor. Too obvious, I'm afraid.
I saw a sign in the...
I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian.
May I take my leave?
You may.
The lady is not a fan of shallow conversation, which I respect. I shouldn't talk to her unless I have something serious to say. The Baroness seems to have a reason to celebrate. She's downing one glass of champagne after another. The less I have to do with her, the better. Best if she doesn't even remember that I exist. Although, based on her alcohol consumption, I don't really think I have to worry about that. He's sweating profusely. I hope the crew doesn't take the... Hello, Captain DeCanti.
Miss Myers, how nice to see you. You look beautiful. We missed you at dinner.
I was in my cabin. I didn't feel very well.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better.
Lovely concert, wasn't it?
You only heard the end. It was really wonderful.
All the more curious that Lady Westmacott embarrassed Mr. Kreutzer like that, don't you think?
I have no idea what got into her. They say she's a difficult person, but maybe it's the privilege of famous people to be a bit strange from time to time. When I was still a young sailor, Enrico Caruso was a passenger on our ship, and he...
I think she's fascinating. She's achieved so much, and all by herself.
Lady Westmacott? Oh yes, that's true. The most successful writer in the world.
Do you know any more about her?
Everything. I'm her biggest fan. What do you want to know?
Where is she from? Who were her parents?
Her father was a wealthy British salesman. Her mother died in childbirth. She had an outstanding education, but was a lonely child, they say. Her father was away on business most of the time.
I know how she feels. For many years, my father's career was also more important than me.
Don't say that, my child. Your father paid for the life you now live.
Did Lady Westmacott's father marry again?
Yes, a woman 15 years his junior. She didn't really care for the child. She was something of a high society lady. She made the headlines with her antics more often than the family would have liked.
And her novels. How did she come to be a writer?
In interviews, she always mentions her French tutor, who encouraged her to write when she was a child. After some poems and short stories, she began to write detective novels with great success. The rest is history. The experts are arguing whether she or Shakespeare has sold more books.
Although she doesn't receive the same deference.
That's true. But her books are much more innovative and extraordinary than people generally give her credit for.
And what does an elderly lady like her want in Egypt?
I couldn't really say. She was there many times with her husband, an archaeologist. He died a long time ago.
I heard something about a reception at the Egyptian Museum?
Yes, for the eyes of the Sphinx. Or rather, for the eye. But I don't think she'd go to Cairo just for that. She usually stays away from official events. Didn't participate in the literary scene either. Always stayed as far away as possible from high society. Probably because of her stepmother.
Is it true that you're a war hero?
Mm-hmm. In 2 world wars. That tells you how old I must be.
You're as old as you feel.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling well?
You shouldn't burden your pretty little head with the dark thoughts of an old man, my dear.
If you don't feel well, maybe you should take it easy.
I'm afraid if I take it easy, it'll kill me.
You seem to be a pessimist.
Fatty liver, asthma, gallstones, jaundice, gout, shingles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, circulatory trouble, knee problems, pulmonary embolism, gastritis, migraine, neuralgia, tinnitus, rheumatism, pleurisy, thrombosis, and constipation. Those are what's been diagnosed so far. My body is a curse.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I'm sorry.
Forgive an old man. I didn't mean to shock you.
You're still the captain of this beautiful ship.
They couldn't just get rid of me, so they stuck me somewhere where I can't make travel anymore.
Don't say that.
This ship runs fine without me. The crew knows what to do. They don't need me. They don't want me.
Captain!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm burdening you with all of this. Forgive me, eh? I'd like to rest for a while. Soon enough, it'll be time to head back to the coalface, eh?
Captain DeConti.
Yes?
Do you know Nefertiti?
Is she a Greek queen?
No. She... Never mind. Guernica, does that mean anything to you?
Not a harbor that I've ever docked at.
Oh, that's too bad. Do you know Albrecht Dürer?
Yes, an artist. Not bad. But he has his weaknesses as well.
For example?
For one, he wasn't Italian.
That's a pity.
You can say that again. At least he lived in Italy for a while.
What else can you tell me about him?
I once overheard an argument on board between a German and a Spaniard about who elevated the woodcut to an art form, Albrecht Dürer or Alberto Durero. Eventually, they realized they were talking about the same man. Ha!
Albrecht Dürer is called Alberto Durero in Spain?
That's right. Don't ask me why.
Buonarroti. That sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Ha! You can say that again. Buonarroti is the name of the greatest artist of all time. Michelangelo Buonarroti, who most people only know by his first name. Just imagine, one man, an Italian, achieves perfection in all three movements of graphic arts. His David is the most famous statue in the world. As an architect, he was a genius. He built parts of St. Peter's Basilica.
And as a painter, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
The creation of Adam. The spark of life leaps from God to Adam. One of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yes, it is. The Sistine Chapel, Apostolic Palace, Vatican City. I don't know any animals associated with them.
Animals?
Oh, it's a game I used to play. My father posed me a riddle, and I have to guess an animal.
And Buonarroti's Adam was the hint? Maybe he meant Rome. According to legend, the founders of the city, Romulus and Remus, were raised by a she-wolf.
No, that's too vague. Does Vatican City have an animal on its coat of arms?
No.
And the Pope?
Every pope has his own emblem, but the new one doesn't have an animal.
You don't seem to like the new Pope.
It's too early to say. But who's fit to hold a candle to John the 23rd? Il Papa Buono, as we used to call him. The good Pope.
He just died recently. What was his heraldic animal?
He was a lion, and so was his heraldic animal.
For a Catholic, Buonarroti's Adam could be a mnemonic for the lion. Pope John XXIII was elected in the Sistine Chapel like every other pope. A work of art hints at a coat of arms with a lion on it. Maybe. I'll make a note of lion. I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
Professor Lucien could certainly tell me everything there is to know about Nefertiti, but he might also realize that I was in his museum in London. I'd better not talk to him. The doctor is upstairs. He probably locked the door. Yes. Legrand is an important part of our plan. He's the one who'll arrest Inch in the end. But there's still a lot to do before that happens. have to use my private entrance via the if someone spots me going in. If someone leaves the bridge, I'll pretend to be stargazing, and if that doesn't work, I'll just turn on the charm. No, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to repair the necklace. Adil?
In the shower.
I found the secret compartment.
Oh, brilliant! And the jewel?
I'm working on it. Adil?
Yes?
I almost got caught in the Baroness's cabin.
What happened?
I don't know. A man came in and I just had time to hide under the bed.
Maybe it was a steward who came to clean the cabin?
And turn on a tape recorder in the cupboard?
Huh. Maybe it was Inch. He wanted some music?
There was nothing on the tape. It was playing, but I didn't hear anything. Something is rotten here.
Don't bother your pretty little head about it. Swap the eye and hurry back. I've got a surprise for you.
I don't think your surprise will really surprise me. The secret compartment is secured with a combination lock.
Is there any way in?
Not without leaving evidence. I need the combination.
Huh. Are there any hints?
A memory aid consisting of several works of art. There are animals on the lock.
The works of art might hint at specific animals.
You don't say, genius. I've already got that far. About the combination.
Yes?
Does Nefertiti mean anything to you?
An Egyptian queen?
That's it?
I didn't have an affair with her, if that's what you mean. She's not my type, and she's been dead for thousands of years.
Well then, I'll take your word for it. Guernica. Sounds Spanish, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a city in the Basque region.
Does it have a heraldic animal? Or maybe the region has one?
I don't know. I've never been there. I just know it because the city was bombed by the Nazis during the Spanish Civil War.
Nazis? In the Spanish Civil War?
Well, not officially, of course. At the request of General Franco, his friends from Germany reduced a defenseless city to ashes and rubble. Picasso immortalized the bombing in his famous painting.
Really? Is it on display in Spain?
Silly. As long as Franco is in charge, he won't allow that.
Where is it?
Oh, no idea. Paris, maybe? Picasso lived there for a long time.
Maybe doesn't help me much. Alberto Durero.
What about him?
What's his most famous work?
Hard to say. He did a lot. He was a pioneer of woodcuts and printmaking.
The Baroness left his monogram as a hint, not the name of one of his artworks. So there must be a painting that everyone associates with him.
Not to my knowledge. Although he did have a favorite motif.
And that was?
Himself. He made quite a few self-portraits.
That's it. The artist is the art.
Sounds logical. His most famous self-portrait is in the Prado in Madrid. I saw it with my own eyes 2 years ago.
Does Madrid have something like a heraldic animal?
Sure, it's a bear. It's on the coat of arms and all over the city.
Brilliant. The bear. I just need one more animal. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
I was talking to the captain. He didn't look well. Is he sick?
I am sure you will understand that I cannot discuss the medical history of one of my patients with you.
Why? Do you think I'm too stupid?
I didn't mean that. It is a matter of confidentiality.
I asked whether the captain is ill and you called him one of my patients. Haven't you already answered my question?
What do you want?
Have you ever heard of a Picasso?
That's enough. I am saying this as politely as I can. Please leave me alone now. We can discuss these unimportant things tomorrow, if it is really necessary.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
It must be exciting to meet all the world's famous and powerful people.
I stay away as far as possible from high society. Too shallow. Too boring.
But some of them must be exciting. Have you ever met Picasso?
They told him he's a genius so often that he actually started to believe it himself.
But his paintings are impressive. Guernica, for example.
Well, it certainly is big. I have to give him that.
Didn't he have to flee from Spain?
Yes, from the fascists, but not just him. Many of his paintings as well. If I remember correctly, Guernica is currently on display in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. He bequeathed it to a future Spanish republic.
And until then it stays in New York?
Yes. It's been there for years now.
Have you ever been to New York?
For the love of God, what would I do there? We have the original York in England. That's quite enough for me.
So, you don't know the heraldic animal of New York?
No, probably an eagle. It's all eagles over there.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Captain de Conti?
Yes?
An old seaman like you must surely have been to New York, right?
Aye, aye. My usual territory is the Mediterranean, but I've crossed the Atlantic many times. It's always a great moment when the Statue of Liberty appears on the horizon.
You wouldn't happen to know the heraldic animal of New York?
No. Maybe an eagle?
I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
Strange guy. I wonder what, or who, he's watching in the saloon. He seems like he's waiting for something, and he's growing more nervous by the minute. A deal?
Yes?
About the combination. Guernica hangs in New York.
Okay.
Do you know what the heraldic animal of New York is?
An eagle? It's all eagles over there.
That's the second time I've heard that. But no, it can't be an eagle. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
Professor Lucien could certainly tell me, but he might... It doesn't... I don't know why, but people just seem to open up to me. Is that a blessing or a curse? It must be horrible to look back bitterly at the end of one's life, especially if it could have been a great life. I'll leave him alone with his thoughts. The lady is not a fan of shallow... I shouldn't talk... Strange. I wonder what... He seems like he's waiting for... I'll have to use if someone spots... art magazine will help me with the symbols. Indeed. An article about the different works of art and how they survived the Second World War. And there's also a picture of the bust of Nefertiti. The unique Egyptian work of art was 1913. Permission to export to Germany. Second World War. Safe at the Reich Bank. Then a bunker. And then a salt mine. Prevented from shipping the bust to the United States. Back in Berlin since 1956. Very glad. Blah, blah, blah. Soon in the Egyptian Museum of Berlin, and hopefully someday in a reunified Berlin on the Museum Island. Okay, so the bust of Nefertiti is located in Berlin. And which animal is on the city's coat of arms? The Berlin bear. That's it! 3 animals are all I need. I can guess the 4th. But I could try to find the 4th symbol anyway, just to be sure. The bust of Nefertiti. Strange. I wonder what. He seems like he's waiting. Okay, the coat of arms of New York City is on the poster. There's the obligatory eagle. That can't be it, since there's no eagle on the lock. But look here, how cute. There are 2 beavers posing on the New York City emblem. Guernica equals New York equals beaver. All 4 symbols decoded. Gosh, I'm good. Now, I need to get back to the Baroness's cabin. The jewel is waiting for me.
Baroness von Tribitz? Are you okay? Hello? Baroness? Hello?
Adil.
What happened?
The Baroness. Blood everywhere.
But who?
I don't know. Inch?
That doesn't make any sense.
Don't move. Zellner, up here. We've got our shadow. How are you?
I do nothing. Me crew.
Sure you are. What are you doing here?
Just fresh air.
Sure. You just wanted to get a breath of fresh air. Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our shadow.
And our stowaway.
Were you recently traveling via trunk?
Nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Oh, sure. And you obviously didn't attack me either, did you?
The Baroness won't open the door, sir.
Understood. Take him to the detention cell, Robert. We'll talk later, my friend.
What is? Did nothing.
Inspector Legrand thinks otherwise. Move!
But I have... Gunshot!
I know that! Get moving! Into the cell!
Ah! Hello? It wasn't my fault.
What wasn't your fault? That you were walking around the ship? That you let them catch you? That you endangered the whole plan? That you endangered me?
I didn't kill anyone. They arrested me purely by coincidence. They'll have to turn me loose in Cairo. I mean, someone was killed, weren't they? I heard a shot. Why won't you answer?
I'm having a conversation that you cannot hear.
What happened last night?
The Baroness was murdered.
Did you?
No. If it were up to me, she'd have had an accident in a couple of weeks. Instead, someone shot the old bat in the heart point blank.
Are we calling it off?
No. Mr. X is ready, and as her surviving representative, I should be able to move about freely in the museum. The old hag's death doesn't change anything.
How did you get in here?
I'm more than capable of finding the entrance to a cargo hold. Indeed, it was child's play. It's not as though I had to crawl through ventilation shafts or anything so gauche.
So, what do we do now? I could escape and...
swim to Cairo.
So, I stay here and wait?
They'll arrest you in Cairo and question you about the murder. Even if they don't throw you in jail, it'll take days.
And if we find the murderer, then they'd have no reason to hold me.
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you. Nervous? I would be if I were you. This Zellner chap wasn't part of the plan. I don't like it.
He's groping about in the dark. Legrand is the real problem.
Still, I'm going to take him out of the picture.
How?
Dr. Gebhardt killed the Baroness. A clever old man, but not clever enough to keep me from finding out.
So you just have to tip Legrand off, and then I'm as good as free.
That's what I thought at first, but then I thought, why waste the opportunity? I put Zellner on the trail of the good doctor. He'll drive Gebhardt into a corner, and when he lashes out in desperation, he might hit our Swiss friend. Maybe even Legrand, if we're really lucky.
You can't do that. The old fella's just doing his job.
And so am I.
Inch. Enough blood has been shed. Inch. No more deaths. Damn! I have to get out of here and warn Constable Zellner. I didn't sleep a wink last night. All I could think of was Alex. It's terrible not knowing what happened. I guess this cage is some kind of detention cell for the crew. It's not the most impregnable prison in the world, but it's still a problem. Huh. Lock looks pretty modern. Needs a small key, 5 pins. I could pick it with the right tools. Like everything else on this ship, the bars and hinges are showing their age, but they're still much too strong for me to kick the door open. Ugh, they're really spoiling me with this cup of metallic-tasting water. If I'm really lucky, they'll toss me a few crumbs of bread. Someone should move that board before the nail gets stepped on. The blanket got caught on the nail. A board and a nail. I've seen movies in which the prisoners called their guards like this, but it wouldn't help. I can't explain the situation to the Bobby without endangering the whole plan. I doubt that will work. Yep, the nail is much too thick to fit in the keyhole. I think it's working. Huh, one down. I'll hang it back on the frame, and if I'm lucky, no one will notice my escape. Fire still poses a great threat to ships. There are fire alarms, extinguishers, and hoses everywhere nowadays. These hoses are pretty versatile. They'll do at a pinch if you can't smuggle climbing ropes into the building you're planning to rob. As soon as Constable Zellner and Inspector Legrand are out of danger, I'll slip back into the cell. They'll arrest the good doctor. Before I went to London to become Inch's protege, Alex and I drove through the French Riviera in this convertible. It was a wonderful week, and on the cliffs near Toulon, I asked her to marry me. But this is no time for reminiscing. There's nothing in the car that might help me. Alex is playing her role as Patricia Mayers, and she can't keep anything suspicious with her. What's this? Whoa, heavy. Everything's a bit bigger and heavier on a ship, pulleys included. Can't reach the hook. Huh. A ring set in... You could attach ropes or chains. It's set into the floor to keep people from tripping. Huh. You could attach... It's set... What's that up there? A grate. Sunlight's shining through it. And above it, a bent pipe. This could be my way out. The bars are welded at 4 points, and unfortunately they're not all as rusty as this one. No, that won't work. The hose is too wide. I tied the hose to the hook. That's not going to get me anywhere. No, that won't. No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not going to get me in. No, that doesn't. And now? I tied the hose. That's not going to get me. No, that doesn't make any. No, that won't. I tied the hose. No, that doesn't make any. I attached the pulley to the ring. You could hang a car from it, if the ship were upside down. I'm sure the crane still works. I don't have time to play around. Here goes nothing. Louder than I expected. I hope no one noticed. With luck, I'll be able to warn the others about the doctor before it's too late. No! Hey, you all right? That bastard didn't inject the fatal dose. You'll be back on your feet soon enough. Better take it easy while I... Oh, no! I'll be right back. I can see Legrand in the saloon. I don't think Gebhardt would have gone there. Where are you?
No! Why? Can't you just leave me alone? Stay there.
Just relax.
Why can't you just leave me alone? It is always the same old story.
What old stories?
I am a decent man. Why are you torturing me? I loved her. She betrayed me. It was her fault. I have blood on my hands because of her.
Are you talking about the Baroness?
She was her sister. I loved her. With all my heart. They were Jewish, you know? But I didn't care about that. I hid them when it became dangerous for them. I looked after them. I brought them food. I was a party member. And still, I hid her and her whole family.
You risked your life for a woman you loved. And 30 years later, you murder her sister?
I saw her swollen belly. I was so angry. He was one of them, you know? They just used me. I hid them, brought them food, and in return they laughed about me behind my back.
What did you do?
There are Jews hiding in the basement of the Waldhof. Armed Jews. We have to burn them out. And that's what they did.
Come down from there.
Why? So you can kill me?
I'm not going to kill anyone.
Or pack me off to an Egyptian prison? Or an Israeli prison? No.
What do you expect? You had an entire family put to death.
I am a gentleman. And I expect that others... that they don't.
She didn't love you and was expecting a child by another man. And that's why you betrayed her.
It was her fault. She shouldn't have cheated on me. I saved her. I risked my life for her every day for 4 months.
And then you threw it all away and became a murderer.
I am not. I am...
Yeah, well, the dead Baroness in the ship's hold proves the opposite.
I had never met her. Back in East Prussia, she was the older sister, the smart sister. She studied art history in New York, tried to get her family out of East Prussia, but I was able to prevent that.
You say you loved her, and yet you wanted to deny her and her family a safe life.
They were safe. I protected them. It was for their sake that I joined the party. I had contacts. I wrapped them in my protective embrace.
You didn't let her escape because you wanted to keep her close to you.
She sent photos to her sister before the war. She must have recognized me yesterday in Venice. I certainly recognized her.
The Baroness was searching through her photos. That's true.
She couldn't get me during the war. And after the war, I disappeared. Gave myself a new name, a new resume, a new life. And then, suddenly, there she was. About to ruin everything.
So, she had to die.
I didn't want that. But she gave me no choice. Why did she have to stir up old ghosts?
All right now.
No. It ends. Here and now.
Why do you want to kill yourself?
Isn't it obvious? He can't bear his false, hollow life anymore.
Who are you? What do you want?
A man who understands etiquette and honor, and yet is nothing but a coward himself, who, because of wounded vanity, burdens himself with immense guilt.
Don't come any closer.
The Baroness held a mirror up to you, didn't she, Doctor? And you hated what you saw there. So you smashed the mirror. But the sins of the past are catching up with you now, aren't they?
No.
A skull with empty eyes full of fear.
Stop it.
Oh, dear, you really know how to dampen the mood. I almost had him. And you? Aren't you supposed to follow orders? Are you not here to assist me?
I won't.
That wasn't a question.
I don't want any dead bodies.
The same old story. You want success, but you don't want to get your hands dirty.
Isn't the Raven famous for that?
I do what's necessary.
No!
No. What is it then? You wanted to jump anyway, or you should at least.
Inch?
I'm just lending a friendly hand. He's a coward. He needs a bit of motivation. Come on now, chop, jump!
You are the Baroness's butler, aren't you? I did not want to kill your mistress.
Oh, nonsense. Forgiven and forgotten, if you don't mind my asking.
There must be another solution.
Why are you doing this?
Nothing personal. Well, that's not entirely true. You're a miserable excuse for a human being, aren't you? But mainly you're a means to an end. Your death will get Inspector Legrand off our backs.
The Inspector? What do I have to do with him?
Your letter. The one in which you confess to being the Raven and to killing the Baroness because she saw through your ruse.
That's absurd.
Indeed it is. But people will believe almost anything if it suits them. The press will love it. Bold Inspector Legrand saves the day again. Interviews, medals, urgent telegrams from the capital. Our dear friend won't be able to escape the limelight. And by the time the commotion has ended, I'll be long gone.
You can't kill him.
Why not? He's a bastard, his death will help us, and he's a witness. If we let him go, we'll both go to jail.
All the same, we're not going to kill him. You got us into this situation. And as long as I'm alive, I won't let anyone be killed in my presence.
No.
You can't kill both of us.
Oh, I think you'll find I can.
You can't kill me. You still need me. I have to do the dirty work for you in the museum, so you won't be shooting me, or him.
Very well, you win.
What?
Never speak to me like that again, do you understand? I need you to steal the eye, but one day I could be overwhelmed by a feeling of hatred that will make me forget the eye. And there are worse things I could do than simply shoot you. I suggest you go back to your cell. You need to be fit for Cairo. I still have a confession to write.
The last act. The end of the Raven. Part of me wants to abandon the whole plan and go back to Europe. What if something goes wrong and Legrand catches on? I couldn't bear it if something happened to her. I can't afford to slip up.
Mr. Jamal, I'm glad you could make it.
Let's get this over with.
Still angry on account of the good doctor?
You disgust me.
You'll be rid of me in less than 2 hours, and I of you.
What happens next?
My diversion worked wonderfully. The press has laid siege to the French embassy, and Legrand won't be able to escape them. He should arrive in a few minutes with the safe, and then he'll have to answer ridiculous questions from reporters all afternoon.
That's why we're striking now.
A regrettable necessity. I would have preferred to make my grand entrance this evening at the gala. But yes, we will strike as soon as the safe is in the treasure chamber and Legrand has left.
Have you already met your Mr. X?
He's counting an envelope of unmarked bills as we speak. He put the blueprints under the statue of Imhotep.
Blueprints?
A sketch of the museum, not the kind you can get just anywhere. This one shows secret entrances, basements, and attic rooms that the Resistance used during the war.
That's what it was about.
Get the blueprints. There's a basement below the treasure chamber. The entrance should be marked on the blueprints. Open it and give me a sign.
What's the next step?
You'll find out when it's
But... Will there be more deaths here in the museum?
If you follow my instructions, no.
If people are in danger, I'll call the whole thing off.
I don't kill for fun, only when it's necessary.
Is it ever really necessary?
Sometimes. Revenge, for example, when one has been betrayed.
All right then, I'll pay a visit to Imhotep and we'll meet in the basement.
Good monkey. Oh, and by the way, the museum is closed to visitors until tomorrow.
Then how...
You'll find a way.
I bet the craftsmen are nearby. If not in the museum, then somewhere around here. I bet the craftsmen... I hope the owner doesn't come back while I'm tampering with... Craftsmen aren't known for their calm... Locked. There's a tennis ball stuck on the tow hitch. Ah, people do that to protect the hitch and their trouser legs from the grease. Got it. Interesting. A fire lamp. Nope. The handbrake is on. The door is closed, and I don't want to break the window. Someone might hear the sound and call the police. I have to improvise if I want to get into the museum. Oh, nothing. Do I need an umbrella, or could it help me get into the museum? A rod like that could be useful. I could probably reach the door lock with the rod. I don't want to crawl through stinking sewers just to get into the museum. There must be another way. Who's a good dog? Yeah, who's a good dog then? Today, the museum is officially closed for preparations for the...
The museum is closed today. Come back tomorrow.
Can you please let me in? My ship sails tonight, and I can't leave Egypt without having seen a mummy.
Get yourself a shovel and head for the desert. Maybe you'll get lucky.
But there are visitors in the museum.
Carefully selected by Director Mokhtar. Or they have an invitation.
Is there any chance of getting such an invitation?
For you? No.
Never mind. See you later.
Better luck next time, huh?
You're too kind. I like dogs. I had a border collie back home. Followed me everywhere. He was very old, but the most loyal friend you could wish for. Maybe I can fish something out of the sewer with the wire. Nothing. I can't even touch the bottom. It was worth a try. The ladder is too high. I guess they expect people... The door is closed. The Sphinx still has 2 eyes on the poster. They need to put an eye patch on it. No, that won't work.